Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Convo Houston with R.E. and Chosen. Special guest Frederick Sparkman.
Good morning. How's it going, y'all?
Okay, so being that we've been having these issues with the live going public, allow me 1 minute to confirm. Can you confirm real quick, Chosen? Um, as we get in, hold on. I think we're good. Nope. Let's
Hey,
see.
hold up.
It
We
only shows
good?
two.
Yeah, I just got a.
Now it's three.
There we go. We good.
We
Yeah, we
good?
good.
All
Yeah.
right, awesome. Okay, so as I was saying, good morning and welcome to Coffee and Convo Houston. This morning, we're going to discuss going in circles. Good morning, Melissa. It's been a minute.
Good morning. Yeah.
Welcome. Thank you
Good
for
morning.
joining us. We're going to discuss going in circles. And before we get into going in circles, we're going to recap last week's episode and chosen last week's episode.
Yeah, last week we talked about we again talked about spiritual
Spiritual
warfare,
warfare. Mhm.
and the week before we talked about like what is your what do you usually use to help combat spiritual warfare when things come against you? Because we talked about the bounce back after the setback,
The new
all of that good stuff,
beginnings.
new beginning, and I went back to because last week also made it to where I can go back to talk about how when you view the spiritual warfare and you view uh it at a certain situation as a death, whether it be like I said a business relationship, friendship, a relationship, etc. You view it as a death. You're able to um go over. You're able to get to process and accept that which is no more. So last week, if you missed it, you can definitely check it out on the YouTube page, and I'll put that bad boy in the link description. I'll put the link in the description. And with that being said, moving forward, this is where we at.
All
Going in
right,
circles.
so going in circles. So today we wanted to address making the same mistakes, um, whether it be in picking the wrong job or the wrong company, the wrong type of person to date, um, even in just your friendships. Frederick, you called this what? Circling the mountain.
Oh yeah, going around that mountain one more time. But now that you explained it the way you did, then I will go to break the circle, close your cycle. The problem with doing things over and over again, you're talking about that sin that so easily besets you.
Hmm.
So in that case, you have to break the circle, which breaks your cycle.
Okay. And did you address this in one of your books? And if so, which one?
Mm, don't think I did. Oh yeah, I did. That was the Poor Man's Guide to Breaking the Poverty Cycle.
Okay. So we could take those same um steps, use that same system that you wrote in that book, and apply it to our everyday life, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
but
Go ahead, Nick.
well, when you have to look at everything in life as a circle.
Hmm.
So let's say that you have a beginning and you have an end, and you usually begin where you ended or you end where you began. So let's say you started off doing this one thing, and then you turn around, you quit, whatever. It could be drinking, it could be smoking, it could be anything. And then there's always some trigger that'll cause you to go run back to it because you have a circle. This happens, you choose to do this one thing. This happens, which gives you an excuse or a way out, and you fall back into that same cycle or circle because you never really did sincerely want to quit, or you never really sincerely wanted to have a change. People often go and say they should do things because they know they should, but inside they really haven't let go of the joy that they have when they commit those sins.
So that's like addictions and addictions to, like you were saying, cigarettes, alcohol. That's even to drama, bad relationships as well, you would say, right?
Yeah, but you also got to remember, as two cannot walk together unless they be agreed. You can't actually break a circle or your cycle unless you genuinely choose to do so. You can't be forced to do it. You can't be compelled to do it. You can't do it just because it's the right thing. You have to willingly choose to let it go, which most people never do. Most people tend to do it because it's what is expected of them, but they do it grudgingly without ever actually really wanting to let that thing go. That's why it never works.
So, okay, so you mentioned earlier to find your trigger. You have to find your trigger.
Well,
Okay, so that
what is the one thing that causes you to sink back into your circle? What is the one thing that happens to you that causes you to go back to your old ways? For some people, the trigger is your anger. For some people, the trigger is embarrassment, shame. For some people, it's depression, sadness. Everybody has a trigger. That one thing that causes you to easily let go and go back to stewing in your own juices.
interesting. What you got to say about that, Chosen?
I mean, to wrap it up, I definitely agree with everything you said. It reminds me, y'all ever seen this movie called Edge of Tomorrow, the Tom Cruise movie?
Yes.
Mhm.
It came from a book. It actually came from a book called All You Need Is Kill. I
All
like
you
the
need is
title better. All You Need Is Kill. I like that title for the movie better because every day he woke up, he was doing the same thing over and over again.
Mhm.
So the only way that he really progressed was if he did not, if he did not do the one thing that happened that got him killed the first time, because he died over and over and over again. And every time he
Right.
died, he woke back up to repeat the same cycle. And every time he figured it out, it was like he got a little further in the cycle. So I really do think, I mean, I ain't gonna say really do think, but the way Frederick just explained that was just basically what I'm talking about is what I saw when he said that was all you need is kill. Um, those triggers, you remember what last week we talked about warning comes before disaster?
Mm-hmm.
So, we said, I said, warning always comes before disaster. Those triggers have a warning as well. So like if
Okay.
you knew you were so like if you knew you were like you had a problem with alcoholism, and when you stopped doing it, like you were able to tell uh what was about to ensue to make you do that. And then that's whenever you face that final test. That final test is okay. On this hand, we go back to where we were. On this hand, we can walk away. And in the middle, you thinking about all that stuff that made you feel good to go do it, and then you looking at everything else in the future. So it's like you basically have to just train yourself, just like in that movie. Train yourself from what it was that to bolster yourself up to pick the side to go and not do what
Okay.
you did to land you in that place.
So let's say relationships, bad relationships. You know how a person may end up cuffing the same type. Could it possibly be that those red flags are being overlooked? Or are they just addicted to certain types of drama and negativity, what have you, that cause them to get in that same cycle
Well,
when it comes
That's
to
easy.
relationships?
Women,
Go
Go
ahead,
ahead, go
Frederick.
ahead, go ahead. I want to hear that. I want to hear
women always say, "Oh, he's good. He's boring." There you go. They want a bad boy. Bring some excitement in my life.
So you're saying just pick the opposite of what you normally pick.
that. Opposites attract. His
Just
she
easy.
be
Pick
like
Well,
the
she be
opposite.
like I balance him out, or his
Well,
get
it's
it
like
out
I said,
ways. Yeah.
And when you
if
say
you know
what,
you're
Frederick?
lazy, it's like what I say about being lazy. If you know you're lazy, go do it anyway. Then you can go back to screwing off. You have to become a lazy workaholic in order to be truly lazy.
A lazy workaholic. I've never heard it put that way.
Well, the thing is, if you know for a fact that you are a lazy person, which I am a lazy person, so I have a tendency to go get it done so I can go back to screwing off. So in the process, you become a lazy workaholic because you go get it done, you achieve what you need to, so you can go back to screwing off.
You know what? That's interesting. I've never heard that.
I think a vast majority of the population has that trait.
Really? Being
Who
a
don't like
lazy
short time?
workaholic?
Who don't
Huh?
like
No,
short time?
most people are
I
just
love
lazy and procrastinate. They don't do the workaholic part.
Oh, they just do that. Yeah, you're right.
Okay. So you were saying breaking the cycle, and you wrote about this in how to break the poor man's cycle. What are those?
Breaking the power.
Okay, so what are those steps that we can take from that book to apply into everyday life to break that cycle? Can you give us a rundown of those steps?
Well, the first thing you have to do is identify the 7 problem-solving steps.
Okay.
Identify the problem, gather information, analyze and compare courses of action, develop multiple plans, make a plan that you can stick to, implement the plan.
Make a plan that you can stick to. That's normally what most people do when they're attempting to break an addiction or, make these changes in this new beginning. They automatically jump into making a plan. I can't say that they always stick to it because
No, they don't. People don't make plans at all.
Okay.
The average person does everything by the seat of their pants. The last thing they do is plan. You ask the average person out there, ask them to tell you what's in their budget, and they will look at you like you just shot their cat. They don't have a plan. They don't have a budget. They don't count the costs.
They gonna hit you with that Dom Toretto.
Oh, yeah.
They gonna hit you with that Dominic Toretto.
What
I live
I
my
need a
life a
budget
quarter
for?
mile at a time.
You say the first question is what you need a budget for?
Uh-huh.
Mm.
See, you need to know where your money. You need to know where your money is going. You need to know what you're spending it on. You need to know what are you doing to cause your money to move so fast out of your pocket that you don't know where it went. If you don't know where your money went, you don't have a budget.
This would be like pros and cons of that decision you have to make, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So pros and cons. We're talking about going in circles and how to get out of the circles. How to stop making the same repetitive mistakes over and over again. As what is this? Circling the mountain. Okay.
Yeah,
one more time. This is that same script, different cast type thing. Why do I always end up in the same situation? Why do I always find myself having to make the same types of decisions? Why do I always find myself, getting out of that cycle? So, Frederick,
that's easy. The reason you find yourself doing it over and over again is just like the Israelites when they were in the mountains, in the desert for 40 years. They kept doing the same thing. Circle that mountain one more time. Same thing. Took them 40 years to make a 3-day trip.
So in that story, wasn't it complaining and being disobedient that was causing them to
complaining, being disobedient, griping, all of that, whining, all of those things. Instant ass whooping from on high.
Okay, so let's take that. We say they continuously went around this mountain for a number of things. Complaining was one of them. that's something that we do on an everyday basis. Many of us do on an everyday basis. I would say this is why they're always pushing, be grateful, be appreciative, to
Yeah,
counterattack that.
but they say that in the wrong spirit. People are stupid. The issue is they got it because they were complaining against the Most High. So if you're going to complain, why don't you complain to somebody that can actually do something about your problem? You don't complain against the person that can do something about your problem. You don't complain against him to everybody else. You go to him and make your complaint known and find out what you need to do to break your cycle, break your circle. What are you really complaining about? Are you complaining because you don't have it? Or are you complaining because that gives you an excuse not to go and do what you need to do?
You know what? That correlates to? It correlates to you mad at the solution. Solution ain't the solution that you want to be. It's not the most, it's the best solution, but it's not the optimal solution for you. The solution requires too much work. So you complain, now I gotta do this. When your mama used to tell you go clean your room up, when you didn't clean your room up every day like you were supposed to, now that the mountain is bigger and the solution is cleaning your room up so you can get that smell out of there, you're mad because now you wasted so much time letting it build up and now you gotta clean it.
Or you let the mess get so big. Or you let the mess get so big you can't handle it on your own.
Yeah, you can't handle it on your own. Now I need you to help me do it. Now you didn't need me to help make it. So it's basically that. It's the solution is what is the problem. It's, man, we gotta walk up this pyramid, and that's the solution. To go get what we want, that's the solution. Most of the time, people then it's fear. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
The solution is to get on the other side of fear. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. We don't want to, sometimes, we don't want to face fear. But the solution is fear. So you're mad at the solution, which means that you're mad at yourself for not thinking that you have what it takes to carry out the solution to get rid of the problem.
Or you also mad at yourself because you think you'll keep making the same mistake because it's so easy for you to do because it's so entrenched. The hardest thing there is to do is to make a change. See, people want that they like where they at. The reason they can't change is because they like where they at. You got to be true to yourself. That's what we said the first part of warfare is.
Right.
Truth. To thy own self be true. If you really deep down inside, and I guess you could call it subconsciously, like where you at, you're going to stay where you at. That's why you got so many people. They get money and they do one thing that makes them feel normal, be broke.
In order to get something, I mean, it's simple. In order to get something you never had, you got to do something you never did.
Right. You got to do something different to have something different.
Yeah.
Okay. So we complaining, being comfortable. There was a time coming up I heard being content was going against God. Can you explain that? Because I've read a lot in the Bible about
complete. There is nothing in the Bible that tells you to be content with not doing well. There's nothing in the Bible that tells you to be content.
So how did they come about this?
You said they. Who that? They. I want to know who they is. So I call they and give them a strong talking to.
So what about?
I think what she's saying is she talked about a part where they were content with being against. Yeah, we're not saying
being content in life and where you are, not being. See, it's like not striving to have that money, have the better things. Okay, well, I got clothes on my back, I got shoes on my feet, I ate today. What's wrong with
you're confusing acceptance with contentment.
Okay. All right. No, I don't think so.
They accept where they are, which makes them look like they're content to do it. They accept it because they think there is nothing else. So it's like saying, this is my lot in life. I can do better because nothing good is going to happen. That's basically doubt.
Interesting. So basically, it's just a lot of perceptions that need to be broken down, shattered. Some people belief systems are just screwed up.
No. To perceive means to see. That has more to do with the way they think and what they believe.
Mm-hmm.
What they believe is they can have better. What they believe in is always going to be like this. Haven't you ever heard people say, it don't matter what I do, it's still going to turn out the same way?
I have. So if you're believing that it's not going to...
What's the point? It's still going to be the same. Ain't nothing going to change.
Right.
So see, that's what you call negative experiences. See, a negative experience causes you to look for a negative result. So if I continuously had these negative experiences, I'm going to believe that that's what's going to come. If I believe that that's what's going to come, then I've just ensued that I'm in my circle and I lock myself in because now I'm putting faith behind that negative. And I hate to use the word negative, but I'm putting faith to nothing changing. I'm putting faith to everything remaining the same because I believe it, I spoke it, and I expect it.
And expectation is one of the major things that we should have that works with faith and belief and for a better outcome and to level up, correct? Now, if you're not expecting positivity, you're always expecting negativity, you're going to continue to get the negative.
Exactly, because you're putting your faith into that coming into pass.
In essence,
faith cometh by what?
Hearing. Was it? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Faith cometh by hearing.
By hearing the word of God.
Exactly. So if you're hearing yourself or other people say the same thing all the time and you believe, isn't that faith?
Mm-hmm.
So you have faith that this bad thing is coming. It's coming. Even in the book of Job, you said the thing I most fear has come upon me. If that's what Job said, it's going to come to you. Correct. That was Job.
Okay. Yeah, that's what Job said. But okay, so taking this back, because what we're doing, it sounds like we're actually recapping a lot of shows that we've had prior to this. We're hitting different things of going in circles. Okay.
Exactly. That's how we learn. We learn in circles. Okay, what's the one thing that you need to break a circle? What's the one thing you need to break a circle?
Change.
Because a circle is, you start with a dot and you move from that dot and you come back around in a circle to that dot. Your beginning is your end. Correct? So if you change your beginning, you just broke a circle.
Change your beginning. Okay, again, let's go back to the decision making. Same thing. It goes back. Okay.
Again, I would say all you need is kill.
Well, if you think about it, the word of God sends you in circle after circle after circle after circle after circle.
Okay. So I can say this is how some scriptures can mean multiple things.
Correct.
Would you say that?
But each time you go from one level, you just change your beginning. So now it means something different to you. Haven't you read a scripture and you thought it meant this and you ran with it and you used to talk to people about it and everything?
Yes.
And then the moment you had to talk with you, something changed and now you see this in that same scripture and now you just added to it. You got a new beginning from that same word. And then you get another new beginning from that same word. And then you get another new beginning from that same word because you grow in levels of understanding. As long as your understanding changes, your circumstances change with your understanding. So warfare is like that. As you understand how to properly apply the word, your beginning becomes a new ending. Your new beginning becomes a new ending, or your new ending becomes a new beginning, or your old ending becomes a new beginning.
Interesting. So I'm wondering if anyone's getting anything out of this thus far.
It's a little deep. I mean, it's a little deep, so
I
let me
know
try
I
to
am,
explain.
but I can't.
Go
I
ahead.
mean,
But
I
just,
mean, I definitely got some out of it. You know what I'm saying? It's like I said, it's from 5 words.
all you
Think of
need
it
is
in
kids.
terms of baseball.
All you need is
Well,
kids.
think of it in terms of baseball.
All
You
you
got
need is kids.
bases, right?
Okay.
You got baseball. You go to first base, second base, third base, home. So you was at home plate when you hit the ball, right?
Okay.
Then you got to make it to first base. Then you got to make it to second base. Then you got to make it to third
This is
base.
gonna be
And
good.
you score a point right back to where you began.
Okay.
But it's different because now you have a point. So you had to get
And
past
to
first.
take that,
Leveled up.
and to take
Go
that,
chosen.
and to take that to add on to what you just said, to take that to another level, you still got to make decisions on when to run and when to stay where you at.
This is true.
Okay. All right.
And you got to
So
know what's going on in the game because if you're not paying attention, you're out. So you're still going
not
back to
having
home.
that would be like not having the rules to the game. So not having the instructions, not having the knowledge needed to advance.
Again,
Correct.
all you need is kill because if you get out, you go back to the dugout, then you get right back to the beginning. And so when it's time for you to go back around, okay, such and such is playing shortstop. This one right here is playing third base. And I know good and well I'm not finna beat this dude's arm, so I need to stay here until they hit a good, the ball gets hit good so that I have more time to run.
Or you want to steal from second to third, you know the guy's faster than you. You don't try it. But you
That's
got
right.
to know.
It's just, you got to make that decision.
I
You
love
gotta
y'all.
know. You gotta pay attention.
I love y'all. I know the basics of the game. So I have an understanding.
I bet you understand it a little bit better now.
I do. I really do. Rochelle say, who knew you could equate life with baseball? Learn something new every day.
Come on, man. Rochelle, you've been around me long enough to know that I can equate life from anime.
I'm about to say, if you can do Goku to make you understand.
If I can use that to equate life, I can use anything.
All
Life is
right.
about
So
observing.
that's how we break the cycle. Knowledge. Go ahead.
Understanding.
Understanding. Rochelle, I hope you're getting this for our bullet points. What we started doing is for the videos, we put up our bullet points now with the video.
New beginning. So
New
you get a new
beginning.
beginning.
Yes.
So you don't have the same outcome.
Correct.
Hey, already.
Okay, so again,
So you did something different to get something different. Okay.
the show is about elevating, and we want to help everyone, and not everyone would feel the need to push play and watch the episode. So give them those that will read the bullet points. It may trigger something in them for them to sit down and watch the episode. Or for those that have watched, they may want to recap, and they're able to scroll back through to our videos and see those bullet points. You know, sometimes it's about constantly putting it in someone's face, whichever way. All right.
Okay.
What's up?
Since we're talking about circles and changing things, let's talk about people that don't like to read the Bible. What do you do
Go
if
for it.
you
What you
read
have
the
to say
Bible and you fall asleep?
I just had this conversation with someone a few days ago. What? Go ahead and speak on that, Frederick.
Well, the deal is when you read the Bible and you fall asleep, that's normal. What's really happening is you're feeding your spirit and your flesh gets weak, you fall asleep. It's going to keep happening. But hold on. As you keep reading, you got to power through. You read, it takes longer to fall asleep. You read, it takes longer to fall asleep. You read, it takes longer to fall asleep. It's just like lifting weights. You start off weak, then you get strong. You last longer. You got to exercise that muscle.
Okay. Interesting perspective on that. So Again, it still goes back to knowledge. If you don't have the knowledge and understanding, are you saying if you don't have the knowledge and understanding, you won't come out of that cycle, or you have less of a chance of coming out of that cycle? It goes back to being willing. It
Okay.
goes back to having the will.
I would say the simplest way to answer your question is to use a test. Let's
Okay.
say you go to class, me, you, and Chosen go to class. You and Chosen study real hard. Y'all take the test. Y'all make grades. You study more, you make a better grade on the next one. I go to class, I fall asleep and never look at the material. You think I'm going to pass that test at any time?
Chances are you won't.
I guess it depends on the person.
Did that help answer your question?
It depends on the person.
But I do have,
okay, osmosis
something to say too.
Work, but only so far.
What did you say?
Okay.
Osmosis works sometimes, but only so far.
Okay, I can accept that. What were you saying, Chosen?
Okay, but I do have something to say about that also. When you talk about somebody that reads the Bible versus somebody that does not read the Bible, it's almost like the tortoise and the hare. All right.
Okay.
You'll still wind up coming to the same conclusion, but one is going to get there faster, because when you read the Bible, you're not only coming across the problems that the world has already have when you have the human element. You are also looking at the solution to the problem. The solution to the problems and how to deal with people. But if you don't read the Bible, you can see you'll see the problems and you won't come to the solution quick. For instance, what I did, for instance, I'm not like one of them Bible scholars where y'all can go to vacation Bible school and do the Bible drill and I'm right there at it, because I didn't necessarily like read the Bible. I did not read the Bible until I didn't like really get into the Bible until I was around maybe 23. But the thing about it is I observed the world, the ways of the world, and I always knew who the all is. I always knew who God is. I didn't just necessarily get it, but I looked at how everything was going. So
what you're saying is experience was your teacher.
Experience was my teacher, and also because I prayed and I knew who God was, and I knew of the supernatural element that works, and that all my life I've never been steered wrong, because I always wanted to look towards more of a positive aspect versus a negative, because I was like, okay, it does me no good to do anything negative to myself or to anybody for that matter. So for instance, it was like when we sit up there, like since we talk about going in circles, this is the one example that I always use. Like you look at everything, you look at the moon and you look at the sun. The moon and the sun is in the shape of a circle. So if you know how a circle moves, like Frederick said earlier, you start at one point and it goes around. You are also taught in school that the sun, that the earth revolves around the sun, and how the solar system, that it makes a revolution. So if you stand up one day and you turn, I remember how we used to turn around and make ourselves dizzy as kids. You start at one thing, but you turn around and you look and you like, okay, you're back at this area. So it's like everything starts at a circle. So whenever you look at, and when we talk about the wheel, what is it? The wheel inside the wheel, the big wheel, and where you put one thing on, you put one thing at the beginning, let it come back around. You get residual. So it's a return. Okay, so some people, if you pay attention, like you didn't have to necessarily, and I'm not saying, now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying by any means, and I'm not saying don't read the Bible. I'm just saying that if you do, you educate yourself and you feed yourself a lot more, and you're nourished to be able to know these things along with the Spirit. But if you don't, it's not saying that you're not going to get it. It's that
a hard knock life is.
Why not be the best that I can at it? So these examples, like I use that example to say, man, if you just look around in the world that you are placed in the realm that you are placed in, you can learn a lot if you pay attention. But most people don't necessarily just pay attention to like the little things. Like you be like, okay, like so you ever go outside and be like, oh, why is the sky blue? And it's like, Who's changed
Because
it?
the sun
Why is
shines on
water
my
wet?
red
Who put
the
that?
atmosphere.
Wait a minute, Frederick actually giving
Right,
an answer
right.
to that question.
But and so and you know what I'm saying? So you think that you be like, and it's like, you know, who put that up there? Like who did that? Who set that in motion? Who so whenever you start doing that, you know what I'm saying? You respect and then you look at the supernatural aspect of that. Yes, it's a circle. You're gonna always come back to what it is that started you on a path, but what do you do different next time? It's also like in relationships. When you come out of a relationship, you look at the fact that, okay, I did this. And the person that I say, okay, I know I don't want to revisit this. I know I don't want to revisit this with myself. So what do I do next time? So now that you've educated yourself on what not to allow and what not to return
Standards and
to.
boundaries.
Yeah, didn't we talk about that? Like
We talked about
episode
that.
3? So yeah, so you know when you look at
Standards,
that,
boundaries, intentions,
right,
unintentional deception, all of that plays into that.
yeah.
Making different decisions. Now, some people always blaming the other person instead of looking at themselves. Also, this is another reason why we're constantly going in circles. Wouldn't you say? Not accepting your bad decisions,
Your
your
bad
your
decision
uh,
too. Yeah, you gotta
The,
do
the
that too.
word
exactly
you're
You
looking
gotta
for is responsibility.
irresponsibility. There we are. Not accepting responsibility. Oh, forgive me. It's been a long, long night and early morning. Okay, so when you're not accepting responsibility, you're doomed to make the same mistakes as well, correct?
all you need is
Correct.
Revisiting the same circle.
Well, if you're looking at somebody else and not looking at you, then you ain't gonna do nothing.
yeah. Because you have to figure out what is it that I did wrong, or what is it that what mistake did I make? You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes your mistake can be not being able to control your emotions in a state where you know what I'm saying, where
How likely
your
is
emotions will
that?
take place. So we said how likely is what
How
coming
likely
out of
is that one will actually sit back and attempt to accept responsibility for what caused either being fired from a job, a relationship ending. That even goes for not having the money to pay your bill. It's always
Man,
I got a
okay.
story. I got a story for you.
okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I had this dude that was a real good friend of mine, and I became a sergeant, and he was on all these other squads, and they kept booting him out, and finally they sent him to me. And he's like, well, it's gonna be cool working with you because you're my friend. I was like, oh no, you ain't gonna like it. He was like, why not? And as time progressed, he started doing the same old thing, falling asleep at work, falling asleep on the job. And then every time I would jump on him, he's like, you sound just like those white folks. You sound just like those white people. I say, you ever stop to think that maybe you the problem?
Mm. Mm. Interesting. Now, if that don't do it, if that don't do it, but see, okay,
Self-assessment, man. Self-assessment.
self-assess, and we spoke on that too. And unintentional and intentional deceptions. Be true to yourself. Know who you are. It's amazing how like I said, we keep coming back to the same things. For almost every topic we've had, it does start with you. Your level of knowledge, your level of understanding, your the types of this, your decision making ability, your problem solving skills. It all comes right back down to you. So when we blame other people for I don't want to say our
Our,
downfall, our setbacks,
our actions.
our actions, and yeah, for our action. There's that blame game that goes on out there. So this is where Leroy has said to me before. This is where you're making those decisions, looking for red flags and everything. When you see a red flag, you either address it or walk away, right? Now, how about misunderstanding. You know, we talked about communication a lot. These red flags don't always mean necessarily what you may think it is. It could be a lack of understanding from your side, you know, from not really knowing this person. Right, wrong, true, or false.
Yeah, I
So
get
Yeah,
it.
that
that's why I
requires
always
people
ask people now, what does that mean, or what do you mean by that? If you don't know, you have to ask.
If you don't know, you have to ask. You can't just automatically assume.
Oh,
So this will actually help as well to break the cycle, correct? Communication.
yes. If you do something different, you get something different.
Yep.
So not taking the time to actually communicate with a person and just flying off the handle could put you in a worse situation. Okay, I see you shaking your head. So okay, so we on the right page here. We're in agreement. All right. Okay, so Chosen.
What's happening?
What else can you give us with how to get out of this going in circles, how to break that cycle?
Arming yourself, paying attention to what it is, and promising to yourself that I'll never go back that way again, and use the pain of loss. I mean, you just basically have to do that. Like, you know, use the pain of loss and say, hey, you know, this wasn't worth it. Then knowing your worth is very, very important. Where do you want to be? You know, it's things that you have to speak into yourself. Because remember, you gotta also remember it's you feed what you want to grow. You know, so if
Okay.
It's
Hold
another
on,
circle.
That's it. You feed what you want to grow. Hold on. Now, see, we can take this back to what Frederick said about expectations, expecting a negative outcome. So that's not necessarily saying you want that to grow, but that's all you know. So how do you get out of that?
what I'm saying is this: like when I said feed what you want to grow, you should want to feed yourself for that self growth. So where you probably did not read at first, maybe you do more reading. Where it's pushing yourself, like when Frederick said, uh, reading the Bible, you get sleepy, but you need to push through that. So if you know that you find a way, so if you know that you find yourself sleeping after 5-10 minutes, that's probably something that you could probably do to help push yourself to stay awake. You know what I'm saying? It's like changing that routine. So go
Okay,
ahead, Frederick.
Frederick disagrees. What's going on there, Frederick? Before we start, Rochelle say know your worth and add taxes to it.
Well, see, that's the
Hey,
one thing. I agree with that because no one knows their true worth. And as the
no one knows.
conversation I was having with the guy, you have no idea what you're capable of. You have no
Okay.
idea what you can achieve. You have no idea what you can accomplish. The Most High pushes you to become more than what you were before. We are to overcome the world. The way you overcome the world is by first overcoming yourself. Once you overcome yourself, you can overcome circumstances. Once you can overcome circumstances, you can start solving problems. Once you can start solving problems, you can start making plans. Once you start making plans, you can keep what you gain.
So I say thank you for that because that's what I was really trying to convey. You just brought it to what I was really trying to say. Appreciate that. Because it starts with self, like you said, overcoming yourself. And, you know, that's how you grow. You know, because like you said, you don't know your whole. Most of the time, you don't know your real worth.
Full
You
potential.
have to be shown that. But in order for you to do that, you know, it's like okay, if I want to eat pizza all the time, 'cause I love pizza, but I know pizza ain't the most nutritious food. Hey, it's other stuff out there. Let me show you something. So sometimes you have to have it to where somebody show you what you do not know.
But then you have those that's just stuck. They just stuck. They don't want to do
I
anything
mean, it's
more.
like the Most High. You know, like the Most High show you what you don't know. If you take time to go to where the Most High resides. Okay, try something different. And when you try that different thing, it's like, oh, okay, this does help me out a whole lot better. It's like when I didn't know about spirulina powder. Like, I was like, what is this? Oh, it's a green food. Guess what? You don't eat a lot of vegetables. This right here is gonna help you.
You guys are overlooking the easiest thing in the world.
But
Okay.
doesn't the world do that? But you're right.
No,
You know,
no.
I'm just putting a little bit
Okay,
more.
I'm using the
I'm putting a
world
little
as a
more icing
metaphor.
on the cake. I admit.
But what I'm saying is, you guys are overlooking the easiest thing in change.
What's the easiest thing in change?
I just
Ask the
said it.
Most High to help
All
you do
you
it.
need is kill.
Ask the Most High to help you change, to show you how to make this walk work. Don't let you mess it up. That's a lock prayer.
That's a prayer.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a lock prayer. That prayer locks you out of failure.
I like
Show
Okay.
me how to make this work. Don't let me mess it up. That's a lock prayer.
that's better than
That takes the responsibility,
than
puts
the-
it on the Most High to move you forward.
That's
How do you
better
think
than the
I did it? That's
serenity
what I
prayer,
used.
and it's less words.
So the scripture, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak.
Correct. That prayer
Okay.
overcomes that.
That prayer overcomes that.
You're okay.
That's
The
like-
spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. When you go to the Most High and say, "You teach me," okay, so you putting the power back on the powerful, who will give it back to you in your time of need. If you're asking Him to help you, as far as help you do it, then you're still going around in the same stupid circle. You're just going to do it a little longer. But if you ask Him to do it for you, to take over that aspect and to guide you and lead you and don't let you mess it up, you eliminate most of your faults. You
Okay, so
by virtue of living, overcome them.
so we can also say that going in circles, this going in circle thing, making the same wrong decisions, the same steps. We've already agreed that it's from I don't want to say lack of willpower, but
Well, think about what I just said and think about what that prayer does. That prayer itself is a circle. That prayer is, teach me how to start this walk and how to walk it.
lack
The
of
end part of
knowledge.
the circle is, don't let me mess this up. So He's going to tell you what to do each step of the way.
Okay, so what I want to say is what Chosen has mentioned before is not liking the solution. So sometimes people get off track because they don't like the process that they're going to have to endure. They don't like that outcome that they foresee.
Okay, then let me
They
ask you a
don't like
stupid
they don't
question.
like the path to get to that outcome.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
so let me ask y'all a stupid question. Has either one of y'all ever had a job? Has either one of y'all had a job? That's what I'm saying.
One job.
Have you had a job?
Oh yes, and you don't like the rules, procedures, and policies, and you still go there to get paid.
Okay, but you like getting paid. But you like getting paid. Yes or no?
Yes.
Your
Hold up,
job
man.
is a perfect.
Hey, hold up. Did y'all see the facial expression on Frederick just did when he got the close up, when he gave himself a self close up? But you still like to get paid.
Okay. So it's an awesome perspective that he's given. That visual that he's given. I love it. Okay. I see how that works. All right. Let's hit some bullet points here. We have 12 minutes. Bullet points chosen.
Man, get out your own way. 5 words.
Get out your own way.
It's
All
5
right. How are we
words.
going to break these circles, these bad decisions and everything?
All you need is kill. You stop doing that one thing that, okay, you see that one thing, okay, that enemy or the little trash mob that made you do what it is that, you kill that. Okay, man, look, okay, so look, last time I was here, I went to the grocery store and I bought a whole bunch of Hershey's cookies and cream pretzels. And I went to the dentist and my teeth was all jacked up. Okay, let's revisit that. Okay, what are we not gonna do this time? So we're gonna kill the decision to go buy a whole bunch of Hershey's cookies and cream pretzels. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna kill that. So now we ain't gotta worry about that other part. You know what I'm saying? Just when you revisit things and you know how it brought you to what it is that when you know how those things, the sequence brought you to what you need to change, then you kill that, you get rid of that, and then you do something different. You can't get anything different if you keep doing the same thing. All you need is kill.
Okay, and so right here, with this is where your standards boundaries come in at, correct? That's where you would
It's
say your
almost
standards and
to
boundaries.
be
This is where we said before, you analyze your standards and your boundaries, figure out what you need to adjust, what you need to change. You know, that's that self-analyzation right there, correct?
mhm,
All
that's
right.
it.
Frederick, bullet points.
KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. What people are missing is the most obvious thing there is in the world.
Keep it simple.
You are the biggest problem you are ever going to have. So the best thing that you can do is when you pray to the Most High, eliminate the idiot that gets in his way. So you pray your prayers. Father, this is what I want. Father, don't let me screw it up. Father, could you give me this? Father, don't let me mess that up. Father, I want a house. Father, don't let me mess up my credit before I get my house.
That's it.
Eliminate you from the issue. If you eliminate you, you solve your problems.
I mean, there's nothing. I see nothing wrong with that. That's exactly it. I do that, and it's funny you said. It's funny you said that because, like, I prayed that too. I prayed that a lot as well. So and even sometimes when it's weak and I see when the time seems hopeful, I mean hopeless. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I need you to do this for me. Like, I need you to do this for me. And it's like, and when you find solace in that is there will you sometimes don't even have to say that, but I mean, I know I like when say like you and I, like when we talk and we are in agreement and we're like, I don't even have to say it because you already know. It's the reassurance that you know that you like, the reassurance that you know that you have with the Most High. Because there's been times where I've said, I need you to do this. I can't do this. I need you to do it. And it's like, right. And as soon as I say that, it's like, I feel those words. I know. Go to sleep. It's done. I got you. You know what I'm saying? So knowing and getting out of your way is just basically that's that surrender that you need. Like, I know what I can do, but I know what it is that I also need to combat. And those things that I know that I can't do, it's like I need you to do that for me. But at most of the point, what Frederick just said, like, hey, don't let me screw this up.
Okay, keep it simple. Get out of your own way and
I like
kill.
keep it simple, stupid. Keep
Mm-hmm.
it
If you're
all
gonna
day,
pray, the best thing you can do is pray for what it is you're looking for, and then ask him to stop you from screwing it up. It's that simple.
And then also in addition to that, I also pray for the discipline to get my behind up and work on the solution that's presented to me. Because sometimes you definitely need that discipline. That's a
Well,
lot
see,
of
that
things that I
goes
know I
that
like.
goes into don't let me mess this up. Okay, once you pray
Yeah.
that prayer, I'll sit there and I'll be like, why am I looking up how to saute chicken or some crap like that? Well, I don't want it to cook.
Okay.
I wanted to learn how to cook. All of a sudden, I started researching because the Most High was making me read it, make me look it up, make me learn this, make me learn that. I can't mess it up if I'm well informed.
That's right.
Again, goes back to having the knowledge and understanding to make a wise decision out here.
The
Okay.
wisest decision you make is to get you out of the way.
And get yourself out your own way.
Remove you
Get
from
out of
the
your way.
equation. All
Take
right.
me 3 years to learn that.
But again, okay, so we say remove you from the equation, but most people will see that as it's still for them, but not understanding how much they hinder themselves. This was something that was told to me a lot coming up, that you as an individual is your biggest problem. You are the one that you have to overcome. You are your biggest enemy. And this would
Hey,
be
as
why.
somebody, as
All
somebody
we
that
like
has
gone astray.
you, Re, as somebody that
Yes.
has heard my album, as somebody
Uh-huh.
that has heard my album, what is the first? I ain't gonna put you on the spot. The first word that come on in my album is in my intro is the greatest adversary you will ever face is yourself. Those are the first words of the
Elevate.
album.
Elevate. All right. Thank y'all for joining Coffee and Convo Houston live with RE and Chosen. I hope you got something out of today's episode, something that'll help you break that cycle that you're in so you can elevate to the next level. Chosen says all you need is kill. And Frederick says kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
Break your circle, break your cycle.
We have a question before we go. Marcus says, how do you address the issue of your children not identifying with your Christian beliefs? Frederick.
In most cases, the parent isn't showing. They're doing a whole lot of telling, but they're not showing. Okay,
Lead
so the
by
only way,
example.
there you go.
Lead
Let
by
them
example.
see. Let them see you doing what it says. Don't tell them. Let them see.
Mm-hmm. Because it's kids normally mimic what they see.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
if you're a smoker, one of your children may end up becoming a smoker. If you're a drinker, one of them may end up becoming a drinker. If you are deep into the Christian faith, then let them see you as a participant and applying what you're learning instead of beating them over the head with it. Because when you constantly beat them over the head with it, they will throw up that wall.
Yes, they will.
Okay. What else, Frederick?
That's almost okay.
You summed it up perfectly.
Chosen.
That's almost like that's also almost like using what they need to do as a punishment. So like if they
Yeah.
go read a book, like and you sit up there and tell them like go turn it off and go read a book, like
right.
like,
they will
like
not
you using
find
what you're supposed to be
enjoyment
doing, they're
in
not
it,
gonna
so
find
they'll
nothing in it.
start
So
rebelling.
yeah, it's like okay, I don't want to do that. Like that's
Yeah.
you putting it in the form of a punishment.
Okay.
Yeah, but if
Marcus,
they see you with your nose always in a book, they're going to want to read one to see what's so interesting.
they will
Yeah.
ask questions. I know my daughter starts to ask questions. When she see that going, she asks questions. She starts doing, like I read my devotional, she read her devotional. She find, just like Chosen, you find the belief system in all of your anime and how to apply that in life and everything. She does the same thing because it's something that she is around. It's what she's used to seeing. So it becomes an interest in her. She may not do it. They may not do it around the same times as you do it, but it'll be there and it'll linger and it'll start growing once they start feeding it, because again, they've seen it around them. They are involved in it and not treated as though it's like you said, Chosen, a punishment. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hope that helped you, Marcus. Again, thank you for joining Coffee and Convo Houston. Y'all have a lovely Sunday. Blessed week.
Y'all bless.
God bless.
Haha, it doesn't want to let us leave again, y'all.
Somebody said encore.